health pools available to Team Gigantti if they do come out with a more tanky composition. I imagine Cloudy will not be swapping off his Ryan. We know that he loves his Ryan. As someone once said about Thor, oh, he loves his hammer.
That's Cloudy, exactly the same guy.
Don't talk about his hammer. He loves his hammer.
Well, Hurricane now, they've been kind of aggressive when it comes to pushing them far back to the spawn. My problem right here is that they don't have something like Lucio. Bokken is going to be able to protect Crusade a fair bit. It depends actually where they want to hold. Kib looking to get some early trap damage down, but on this high ground it would make a lot of sense. There's not many there's not too much elevation from Team Gigantti. We are probably going to see Alex Cloudy on Ryan, and they kind of expect that, it seems.
Yeah, Crusade will be able to rotate pretty effectively here once they notice that Team Gigantti, thank you for that, Craigie, that deafening show. But once they notice that Team Gigantti don't have that much verticality, with the exception of RCK, Crusade will be a bit more free with his movement. He'll be sticking with Bocket, making sure that should RCK dive on either of them, that he's going to suffer for it with both the Discord Orb and the Sleep. However, already, Team Gigantti, they're going through. They're in a little, very nasty room to be in right now.
Well, they're going to be out in space as well. You can see Ripper kind of drifting off. He's going to make his way back as they're... Uh-oh. Well, that's not where you want to be, Haffy. Haffy actually gets desuited in space as well, and Davin's going to find the kill, which you can see is quite rather quiet in space. Not going to use
our first space battle of Overwatch Contenders EU. Unfortunately, the Astronaut's going to be the one under attack now. Winston under some pressure. Fusions is falling low. Will his healers be able to get him? They're trying their best, but he's falling so close to death.
Well, Craggie's now back onto the point. Kib actually found Ripper, but it's going to be LH Cloudy leading the charge in RCK to back him up. They're going to be able to touch here. Craggie's going to be very nimble on the Tracer. The problem is this dive is going to be also detrimental to Gigantti's backline.
And British Hurricane are ready to go in and make a re-engagement. You can see Fusion's laying down the Tesla coil damage. Craggie's around the back. He's found a trap. He's going to make sure that's not going to be the one going up against him. Davin's going to be the one facing him out here. And in comes the
Pulse Bomb as well.
Bomb.
He chucks it in. Doesn't quite find enemy. The splash damage didn't even connect either. A very, very nice relocation from Gigantti as they find their way onto Crusade. He ends up going down. They have control of this small health pack as well. Craggie's going to be able to take it out in the meantime, though, denying a little bit of health from RCK, meaning he gets desuited. But meanwhile, Fusions and Bokken do end up falling. Now, be Craggie trying to get a little bit more damage in, but the tire from Kib, this might just be the sealing the deal, although LH Cloudy comes up big with a flame strike.
But that was a great rotation there from Team Gigantti. They got the info, they knew where Crusade was, and they knew where Bocket was as well. They think, okay, Masai, use the speed boost, we'll get onto Crusade before he can react. We're going to take him out with a full tank dive, which is something you rarely see. And then what they did is they split Bocket away from the remainder of his team. Bocket couldn't get any heals out because LH Cloudy could block it with his shield, or the rest of Team Gigantti could block it with their bodies. But now, we move on to Group B. Here comes Nil with that Riptide.
Already Graviton comes out, straight in the back line, and Transcendence ain't going to save you now. Bocket ends up going down. A sleep dart actually onto Meza, but he is going to be alright and safe, well, at least for the time. He did have a shield on him, not anymore. Self-destruct's launched onto the point, and Craggie is there defending once again with the help of Happy Cool. Self-destruct's still available here, so he can actually use it and provide a lot of space. Ripper had nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. He's had enough standing still. They know it's a complete reset as Fusions unleashes the Primal Rage.
Davin's a really important kill here. If they can deny him that energy, it will be absolutely crucial, but no, looks like they're going to have to back off. He got too far away too quickly. Masar there with the speed boost, and RCK with the all-important peels, making sure that his Russian buddy was staying in there. But now, Hafiko, he's ready to bring the explosion. He's got a self-destruct in his back pocket. Craggie and Kib a little bit further away from their ults, so they're going to be able to build them up quickly.
LH Cloudy really wanting to play on the point here, like you just said. He's got that Earth Shadow available. That self-destruct's going to come out from Happy Cool. LH Cloudy should be able to block it, but he's still got that Discord Orb on, and Kib is just walking up to him. He's going to stay alive for the time being and actually find a kill onto Fusions. Hurricane are now 2 members down. Riptide from Kib, though, could be pretty important. But look at that shatter in the back line, actually finishes off Bocket also. Kib is going to be able to find the kill, the revenge onto Cloudy. Remember, spawn advantage is going to be pretty big, but Craggie comes up even bigger with the Pulse Bomb onto Davin.
Oh, Craggie, you could have probably blinked away or maybe ran in a different direction to Davin, but no, they lived together and they died together. They've been dueling out this entire time, and Craggie just wanted a real explosive hug with his Russian buddy, but now Davin. He has for Graviton Surge, Jaws. Everyone on British Hurricane may be suffering the group hug treatment. There's very little to defend them, with the exception of Havico's defense matrix. Last time we saw him, he put it in towards the backline. He caught both Bocket and Crusade because they stick close together to support each other, but that is also a crutch if you are going up against the Graviton Surge. Davin's going to be the key to victory here, and Cloudy's going to be able to swing into that.
No signals, he needs healing, but he's going to need a lot more than that now as he ends up going down. There's the Graviton coming out from Davin, and the Coalescence too, but that grenade just keeping them nice and healthy, and even LH Cloudy suffering worse for wear on that one. Davin finally goes down to Craggie once again. They end up finding finding one kill with a Coalescence, but that's a lot invested in that push.
I really disliked that Graviton search. Right after Nil had died, you're not really going to have as much to really try and follow that one up. Sure, Cloudy could swing into it, and he built himself up towards an Earth Shatter. He's 80% now, but Nil wasn't there to get the dash resets, and he couldn't have brought out the Blade either, which he may well have gotten from swinging into that Graviton Surge with his melees and his dashes. And now British Hurricane, they've built up a couple of ultimates to receive the next push with.
Well, they're going to dive in again. Nil, determined not to go down first up this time around, has got that Blade. He just needs that Sleep Dart to go off, but Crusade's going to have that Transcendence available. LH Cloudy's already going to go down, and you can see how well Gigantti play around him. They end up backing off straight away. They know that one pick is enough for them to just go for the complete disengage.
Well, at least after a pick, they didn't go and invest some ultimates again. Look who's learning, it's Gigantti. But now Gigantti have learned to save. They took some advice from their parents. You put a few pennies in every time. Save up a piggy bank, and now they've got 5 ultimates to their name, Jaws.
Yeah, but Hurricane have 3 as well. Kib's going to unleash that tire, and right at the spawn doors, LH Cloudy catches it with his face. And Ripper catched a couple of bombs with his face as well. Craggy's going to be able to follow this one up. And in fact, RCK is actually discorded. He manages to pick up their health pack, but everybody's going to find a mean stagger. Bubble's going to stop him from charging his ultimate for the time being. Hurricane, what a push and what a save by them.
RCK is going to be running out of options rather quickly. There are no options for environmental kills here. He's going to have to potentially just build up to that ultimate himself, or he can get picked off early by a dive from British Hurricane. Havoc still holding on to that self-destruct, ready to bring it out again, and Craigie can come through the back with a
Nano boost actually onto Fusions. RCK is going to go down first in that mini Diva form. A big nade landed onto the backside, but it was only caught by Davin, so that shield was able to just cleanse it. Fusions marching forward again. Only one ultimate really used by Hurricane. They need to stagger them here because they know Gigantti's bank is going to be huge.
Absolutely, and Kib ready to come in once again with a tie. They've both been devastating thus far. He's been prioritizing taking out Cloudy. Do you notice if Cloudy's alive, it's so hard to re-engage onto the point as defenders because he's got that shield in front of all of you. He's going to be the main target once again. Kib on 99%. He's going to bring it out rather soon.
5 ults. There's the hammer. It hits the ground. It hits Fusions. RCK takes him out as well. So much defense for the side of Gigantti. Neil comes in with the Dragon Blade, a recall from Craggy to save his life, but he still ends up managing to kill Bucket. They're going to be able to acquire 2 ticks here and a grab actually to catch them outside of spawn. Craggy's going to fall. Crusade just plattered against the back of the wall, and Fusions come in with a Primal Rage. There was an emergency Sombra from Kib, but it wasn't quite enough. Round 1's going to be completed. 1 minute and 21 seconds left in the time bank.
Fusions was feeling angry, but they banished him back to anger management. 1000 HP reaches 0 real quick when you're up against an entire team of very angry Gigantti players who want to get back in this series, Jaws. And they have made their intentions clear right here on Horizon. 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining in their time bank, and now British Hurricane, they have the match for full cap and maybe a little bit more time as well.
Matching that full cap is going to be fairly hard, especially now LH Cloudy's on the Rhine on the defense. It's going to be hard for them to actually touch the point, it feels. More often than not, we're seeing Gigantti just play around the fact that Davin is just so good at charging his charge on his main weapon. Realistically, you're looking at Ripper and Massa to keep him alive, but Neil just pummeling him in the back line. It seems like an unpenetrable fortress.
Unpenetrable indeed, Jaws. LH Cloudy finally holding up that shield, just like we know that he can do when he's not swinging away. But his swings are pretty good as well. However, on the side of British Hurricane, as we prepare to attack, I imagine we are going to see Fusions come out on the Reinhardt. He hasn't been outclassed by LH Cloudy thus far. He's been putting in some good licks of his own. It's been a nice little brawl between the two. Nice little melee fight. And Kib will be at his back with the Junkrat. And why not? He's been an incredibly impressive Junkrat thus far. Very impactful tires with the exception of that last fight, and we could see when Kib doesn't get an impactful tire, British Hurricane's defense fell apart a lot more quickly because there wasn't that much ground and pound strength from them. They had for dive tanks, so they were forced to make very choice engagements. And those dive tanks, they can often be a huge source of ultimate for a very aggressive Reinhardt. You're getting a lot of damage onto the closely packed Diva and Winston. But now British Hurricane, a little bit of a swap up. Maybe Kib stays on the Hanzo, maybe not. But we'll have to see. Nil, however, is going to be staying on the Junkrat.
Yeah, Kib and Craggy working as a duo as well, especially in that defense there, softening them up with the Tracer, and then Kib was in there to just chuck in the bombs. All the other way around, Craggy's very good at picking people off in the back line, but this time around, Craggy's actually going to go on that Zarya, running that triple tank with the Junkrat. Exactly the same what Gigantti are doing. Mirror comps coming out from either side. It's whoever performs better in this scenario.
Fusion's caught in a trap, and he has managed to walk out safe and sound. Davin went up to the front, got himself a lot of energy, and now he's going to be using that to burn down the shield of Fusions.
LH Cloudy's shield's already really low here, Legday. I mean, they're just going to force their way onto the point. He's going extremely low. In fact, Fusions actually takes him out just with a flame strike. They've already got dominant control. You're saying Fusions is actually stepping up to LH Cloudy's level. This is very quite apparent. Even RCK is going to go down. This is a clean sweep by Hurricane.
And Craggy really needed LH Cloudy to survive there. He had the energy to make things work, but it did mean he was without a shield and needed Cloudy to be that shield for him so that he could operate in relative safety. He's got a big hitbox and he's not going to last long. Now, British Hurricane, they can try and snowball this. Craggy almost has the Graviton Surge, but most importantly, Kib has that Riptide, and we know exactly what it's going for. George is going for the big Cloudy man himself.
Cloudy's in the front line though. He's already half HP. There's the tire. It's going to get signaled in, but a big pin, and this already going to go down. LH Cloudy's not going to be the target anymore,
with the tire,
but he gets the opposing
as
well. Davin and Neil are going to fall. They're trying to just stall out for as much time as they possibly can, but Craggy has still got that Graviton Surge. He's going to lock RCK in place. He's built up to about 80% charge as well.
Crusade can seal the deal. He's got the sound barrier, shouldn't be required. He can bring out all the music that he needs, and he's going to turn it up here against Team Gigantti.
2 ticks, looking for the third. Neil's going to send completely airborne, and the Widowmaker in the back only managed to take out Kib. RCK couldn't get on the point in time, and a 6-minute and 19-second time bank from Hurricane.
That is that's 1 minute and 41 seconds to take the entire map. Wowee.
That's one way of putting it. Oh, that is one of the quickest second point takes I've ever seen. I thought British Hurricane had a very, well, I thought Gigantti had a very quick first point take, but Hurricane right now is sitting on that wealth of time. Gigantti are going to get their shot first up, 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're going to have to see what they can do with it. I can imagine mirror comps again are going to be the story of this map.
And that was a wonderful example of Overwatch misdirection and having to deal with multiple threats when you came in on the attack there as British Hurricane. They made sure Kib was the main threat for Cloudy. He knows every time the Riptire is going for him because he is the main target that needs to be taken out. But while Cloudy was worried about that Riptire, it was Fusions who went around the side, a little bit of a speed boost from Crusader, speed boosted charge into the side of LH Cloudy when he wasn't looking that way. Brought him straight out of the fight, took 300 of his health, and he was easy to finish off the British Hurricane because he was separated. And then for a remainder of Team Gigantti, blown away by Kib's tire, including Nil, who, for some reason, used his tire, but not in the spawn, right next to the spawn, so he wasn't invincible. A little bit of a misplay there from Nil. If he was invincible, maybe it would have gone another way. Who knows? Hindsight is 20/20, and we can't predict alternate paths. However, it's now back down to Team Gigantti. They've got 1 minute and 15 seconds, Jaws. They've got 3 tanks in their arsenal, a Junkrat as well, a Moira and a Lucio to give them all of the healing they need.
RCK didn't even use thrusters to actually get up on the high ground. He got sent up there for him. Instant reposition from Hurricane. They're going to be able to sit on the point now. Kib still working on that ult, about 35%. Neil kind of no way near. Only got 19. He's going to be able to throw in a fair few bombs, and actually Fusions is going to go down first. In fact, it's going to be a boot, but look at Neil's position now. He's going straight up aggressive. No shield, no problem. Walks around LH Cloudy and starts pummeling the point. Happy Call going low too. There should be a playground for Neil as he just rains havoc with these bombs.
And you can see just how impactful it is to take out the Reinhardt first. Cloudy managing to give all the space in the world to the remainder of his team. Kib has built up that all-important Riptire, but Nil's almost going to be joining him there. We'll have to see if Cloudy can deal with this a little bit better. He has managed to kill Riptires himself before with a Fire Strike, but Davin is going to have high energy, high charge as well. It may be down to him and RCK to really protect their big man, Cloudy. The objective has been captured. 45 seconds on the clock. Team Gigantti are on a razor's edge. If British Hurricane can win out this map, they will win out the series.
They're on match point right now. There comes the tire. Where's it going to land? Nobody knows. Neil sending it right up into space. He's going to find the supports. Bokken and Crusader dead. Craggy is taken out by Davin. A beautiful
2 ticks already.
2 ticks. Building up a third. 20 seconds remaining.
Cloudy
and
did it again.
Killed Kib and Fusions with a single flame strike. 1 minute and 20 seconds they had to work with. 18 left on the clock. They secure 4 points on Horizon.
We have a game.
Let's process that for a minute. 2-4 right now. It's now Hurricane's turn to attack. 6 minutes and 19 seconds in their time bank. They have 6 minutes over Gigantti if they can manage to cap the next 2 points.
Well, 18 seconds. All important. Didn't cap it in overtime, so they if British Hurricane can win this one out, Team Gigantti are guaranteed yet another attack. They will be refunded up to 1 minute. However, can British Hurricane have an encore performance similar to their first? Have Team Gigantti figured it out? And I think here one of the key differences was that LH Cloud was very much more defensive on the right. He allowed himself to be forced out by fusions. They let British Hurricane gain as much space as they wanted. Perhaps LH Cloud needs to be a bit more aggressive here. Even if it means he's taking a bit more damage, it will give the remainder of his team a lot more space to move around and try and take out the backline of British Hurricane. You've got to get rid of Bucket and Ripper. They are so important to keeping up those Reinhardts. If you can't remove from Reinhardt itself, you've got to remove the support system around it.
These Reinhardt plays have been just ridiculous over the last couple of games.
It's a wonderful montage.
It is, yeah. And I bet you're happy, like you said before, being a Reinhardt main yourself. It's nice to see a bit of Reinhardt on Reinhardt action. Mirror compositions, it seems, yet again. Both teams rather stubborn not to change, but in all honesty, it's working out for both sides.
Yeah, both sides are really feeling the heat right here. Kib and Nil dueling Junkrats, dueling Australians already. Craggy earning himself quite a bit of energy. I think he's about 40 now, having used that personal barrier. He's going to be able to put one onto Fusions as well. Question is, will Fusions find himself in a trap? Looks like it was caught out here, and already Cloudy, he's taking space, but so's Fusions.
Fusions actually in the point himself. See, RCK went behind him, used his Thrusher Jets to push him in. That was a risky flame strike from LH Cloud. He has to get healed up after that one as he was pummeled by Kib. Throws a couple concussion mines in. LH Cloudy's shield not looking too healthy at all. In fact, they're going to acquire 2 ticks here. Lucio's quite up in the air, but it's not enough to actually touch the point. As the Coalescence, they're crossing the streams. Neil actually finds Kib with a Rip Tire to start off the entire fight. Fusion's going extremely low, and that's still the Graviton Surge from Craggy comes out, and it's going to be a big one if they can get close to it. Fusion's already taken out by Davin, though. B is dropped by Hurricane, but only hits both supports, and the B from Gigantti was even bigger. 5 members it did land on. Neil was the only sacrifice in that push. They still have 5 minutes to work with, but they're undeterred, it seems.
Indeed, Gigantti don't like the idea of crossing the streams and will rebuff British Hurricane from their point. But here comes Kib, an emergency tire here. He thinks he can bring it back, and maybe he can.
2 anyway. The Graviton Surge is unleashed, and they've got a shield to hide behind. The Shadow came out from Fusions, but actually missed RCK, who gets a clean remake. Another Coalescence is going to come out from British Hurricane. RCK sends himself to the skies. Happy Cool finds his RCK finds the DMX on Happy Cool, but RCK is going extremely low. Is going to get desuited eventually, and he takes 1 too many hits, and in fact a flame strike to finish him off.
Well, they gain time at least, and now 5 minutes remain for British Hurricane to try and take point B. We'll have to see if Team Gigantti try and swap up their strategies. LH Cloudy has got that all-important Earth Shadow at his disposal. Can Massar take him past the shield? You can see if he uses the Amp up, he's going to be going straight past Fusions and into the midst of British Hurricane.
It's the sound cue to hear out for, though. Neil's going to launch that one from the spawn. The hammer did hit the ground. No real suffering for it just yet, but this might just be it. Although tanked up mostly by Craggy's shields there, he's going to be very, very charged coming into this next push.
And now this is the moment for British Hurricane. They can move forward. Kib's around the side. He's looking to build up towards that Graviton Surge.
Big Graviton Surge. Both Coalescences hitting it at the same time. LH Cloudy removed from the fight, though. He can't quite see him. Fusions hit the hammer to the ground, but it didn't quite get anybody. But I don't think it's going to matter. Kib finds 2 with a pulse bomb, and he's still alive. Cloudy's so low, just takes a back whack from Kib. He finds himself a 3K. They're going to find their first tick. Neil's going to fall as well. The spawns are coming through. Ripper changing onto the Sombra, but 2's already been acquired. So easy for them to clean up. 4 minutes still left. Ripper gets ejected from the point. The Lucio trying to make his way on there, but LH Cloudy makes it there in quick and record-breaking time. Fusions ends up going down, but LH Cloudy has the Earth Shatter and a triple for RCK.
And now I've got feelings of deja vu. Crusade having to lay down the sound barrier, but a little bit too late. It's only going to be the remnants of British Hurricane which are receiving, and Team Gigantti are going to clean it up. They're on the knife's edge, Jaws. They were so close to being capped out on again, but no, it was Cloudy in the clutch, and his fateful off-tank RCK. I've got you, buddy. It's time for an explosive performance of biblical magnitude, and they came out with it. Davin having to swap back over to the Zion. Now they're out of storm mode. They're ready to sustain.
Another Riptide coming through from Neil. They're trapped in this corridor yet again, but they're managing to kite back. Happy Call is going to claim the Tire's life straight back to the junkyard for you.
That's a
Craggy
long charge.
moving in. That is a very long charge, but he's going to have the backup of Craggy and that Coalescence to heal them all up. And LH Cloudy going very low. Ripper's panicking now. He needs to be able to expend all of the left click in order to keep his tanks alive. Kib's in a free fire, like fireworks show right now. That shield's been broken from LH Cloudy as well. Craggy's built up enough for a Graviton Surge again. He's going to launch it out as a 3-man grab, but the beat will come down as well. They're going to be able to save them for the time being, but Fusion's ult just got cancelled. LH Cloudy kills him mid-animation.
There's another Riptire
came in, but Neil comes big, huge with another Riptire. Crusade finds his man in the end, but another firm hold from Gigantti.
Half of British Hurricanes' time has been elapsed. They had 5 minutes and now 2:30 is all that remains. 2 ultimates left in their bank. Kib with the Riptire, Crusade with the Sound Barrier. It's going to all come down to the next few fights. We see Neil consistently make this mistake where he Riptires too early and allows British Hurricane to speed boost out, make the disengagement and see where the tire's coming from. He's got to wait a little bit longer like we saw, so that they're already engaged. It's harder to escape.
Well, they're going to enter with a Sound Barrier. That's a 1,000 health drive, but it doesn't matter. But another combo. It missed this time because it went over the wall, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. LH Cloudy finds 3 with the Earth Shatter yet again. Is there anything stopping this man?
Well, I imagine the only thing that can stop that man is Fusions with a shield. Unfortunately, Fusions was not there this time. A little bit of a misplacement of the exploding mech by RCK. However, British Hurricane aren't going to be feeling good. They poured 2 of their ultimates into that fight, both for Riptide, which has been so important, and the Sound Barrier from Crusade. Unfortunately, there was just too much damage on the side of Team Gigantti, and now they're going to be holding very aggressively here.
Neil's got another Riptide in the bank. Ripper and Bocket do have the Coalescence. Way from back and spawn, here we go. Neil's find his mark, and this time it's a triple.
He knew exactly where they were going.
As well.
Oh, he knew their tricks this time. I thought he may have been going for the early one again, but he waited for them to be all the way in, and now British Hurricane. They're on the ropes. It looked so good, Jaws. It looked so promising. They had a 5-minute time bank advantage, but now they are on their last minute. They're on their last legs and their last hopes. They've almost got 6 ultimates in the bank and 60 seconds to use them in.
Craggy is the only one not really near his, and Crusade sitting around 60% as well. He's going to have to build that up very fast because Gavin's on 90, approaching 100%. Craggy's going to march his way in. The Coalescences come out from each side yet again. LH Cloudy's going to be the main focus, gets ejected from the point. There's the hammer, it hits the ground, it kills Davin. Hits Davin even, doesn't even kill him just yet, although the grab's used just before he goes down. Happy's Graviton though, who's even bigger.
Right on top of
him. Even bigger. Happy Cool finds 2 with a self-destruct. The beat has been dropped from British Hurricane as well, so they will be nice and chunky. They're still going to get there though. 1 minute still in the time bank. They only needed a tick, and they managed to secure it.
But Gigantti, they're feeling very good about this. They have made up the discrepancy. There is only 6 extra seconds in the time bank of British Hurricane now. However, because there is less time available for Gigantti on their comeback tour, they're going to have to attack Thirst once again. And both of these teams have pretty much taken the point on their first push both times. Pretty good stuff, but it's the second push, or rather the second point, that really makes the man here as we move into our, I suppose this is our 3rd round of Horizon Lunar Colony. Who knew the moon could be so much fun when you can't breathe?
Oh boy, it's like night and day now. It's been around the Earth a couple of times, that is for sure.
Who said quad and triple tank are boring?
Well, British Hurricane apparently, because they're sweeping it up.
Silly people.
They got Fusions and Happy Cool on the Diva and Winston. They've now got a Bocket actually on the Ana this time around. Crusade backing him up on the Lucia, on the Zenyatta even. So a stark difference in compositional style coming out from the defense of Hurricane this time.
British Hurricane, they've been pretty effective with this. Fusions and Happy Cool need to be very choice of their engagements focus, as we said before. Those dive tanks, they can be taken advantage of pretty easily by Cloudy if you just start swinging into their midst and their big hitboxes for the charge as well. Give them 300 extra ult charge with those nice big bursty charges, and now they're going to be coming straight out of the gate once again with the triple tank and their favourite Australian to their back, Neil picking up the Junkrat. Kib's going to be ready to meet him on his own.
Same competition 3 times in a row now. Like you said, that Junkrat for Neil, not doing too well as well. Messer's definitely not. Gibbs actually sends a few of those bombs into space. LH Cloudy's going to fall as well. Reset. That's a quick reset from Gigantti. They've only got a minute to work with, remember. That's slowly wailing down. About 30 seconds remain.
Preparation from British Hurricane there. They knew exactly what they were looking for. Bocket didn't hit the ideal grenade. It got blocked by LH Cloudy's shield. Now Team Gigantti were going for a full swap-up, Jaws. 20 seconds left in the bank. 6 heroes swapped up. No ultimates in the bank, and it's just a dream for the Finnish side. British Hurricane, they're going to stand strong against them. They've almost got the Riptire. They're ready to blow away the dreams of the Finns.
Kib just needs to activate it, that's the thing. Can he get to a safe space? LH Cloudy always goes down to Fusions. There it is, you can hear it. Neil actually gets slept straight on the point. Deflect comes out, he's pretty much useless right now. He needs to be able to find at least one entry kill. Fusions ends up going down, but Overtime's already ticking through. The rest of his team has already fallen around him. Kib finds the final kill on them. They're not going to be able to touch the point any longer. Davin, the only left standing alive, is going to have the duel with Craggy, but he ends up getting taken out by Kib. Overtime ticks through. 4 apiece, but now it is British Hurricane who have the minute and 6 seconds to work with on attack.
They have their foot on the throat of Team Gigantti. If they can claim 33%, actually, they have actually won now, I believe, because of the draw mechanics. No way for Team Gigantti to get another point.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry to step on your hype there, Finns, but I'm a realist, Jaws. You know me. I'm all about the mathematics.
All about the maths. The GCSE level maths. Feels good. 1 minute and 6 seconds. Like you said, the draw, if it ends in a draw here, Hurricane don't actually just come away with the win here. It will end up Team Gigantti only able to secure 1 point in the series, which means technically Hurricane have actually won the series from here on out. However, still those match points to map wins to vie for as well, as it will affect the people you play in the top 8.
You don't want a loss on your record, and you can play spoiler for British Hurricane here. Look like they're going to stick to the tried and true. It's going to be the triple tank and the Junkrat. On the other side of Team Gigantti, I'll give you a guess, Jaws.
Let me guess. Without looking at the screen, it's too late because I've already looked at it. Triple tank and the Junkrat. Oh, yeah.
No, it's actually quadruple DPS. CIS haven't been subbed in. Anyway,
DPS.
Gigantti, they're playing for pride now. Cloudy needs to prove himself to be the Alpha Reinhardt. I know it matters a lot to him, and British Hurricane are coming out nice and speedy. Crusade there with a boost.
And where do they just rush straight down there? They're kind of going to have to. That 1 minute and 6 is slowly ticking away. Oh, stuck in a trap. And Kib's already dead, actually. He took a flame strike to the face. In fact, that's a quick disengage from Hurricane. They're not willing to actually push forward without their main DPS.
Melee DPS? Never heard of it, says Cloudy. I'm a sniper, Ryan. With a fire snipe, he comes in and removes the main source of DPS available as British Hurricane. You can now see the disparity between the ultimate charges of Kib and Nil. That Riptire is going to be up so much faster for Team Gigantti. Craggy's built himself up some considerable energy because he's been defending his team from the incoming Junkrat fire, and Davin's going to be a little bit behind on energy because of that.
Nil is at 86%, a couple of bombs and he'll be 100. Speaking of 100, that's exactly where he's just landed himself. Instantly hits the Q key as soon as the tick glowed, but Fusions actually takes that out in midair. There's the Coalescence coming out from Bucket here. Well, I think, is it going to be worthwhile? Ripper's only just got his up as well. Nil's going to fall here, and RCK is going to get demeched, instantly killed as well if he's not careful. Craggy finds the kill in the end. They're going to be able to move on to the point here. Only need 33%. Kahib just activates the Riptire, just kills off Massa, who was just wall running in the point, trying to buy for some extra time. Overtime isn't going to tick quite as fast down now as they do manage to secure the first tick. British Hurricane, they're going to find Colony and the win in the series.
Glory was all that was up for grabs there for the side of Gigantti at the end of Horizon Lunar Colony, but unfortunately not to be theirs. British Hurricane will secure the series 3-0, and now it's just Pride to play for as we go into our 4th map. It's going to be Escort, a choice between Dorado and of course Junkertown.
Kind of want Junkertown, although British Hurricane have been known to pull out some funny strategies, but obviously it's Gigantti's turn to choose. We'll have to see what they want to pull out the hat. I can imagine it's going to be Dorado, but we're going to find that out very, very shortly, guys. We're going to jump to a break. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back, guys. This is British Hurricane versus Team Gigantti. We just saw British Hurricane demolish the defenses of Team Gigantti in what was such a close Horizon Lunar Colony. We're going to go on to the next map. It's going to be Junkertown or Dorado to finish off the series.
It's about as close as it got. Demolished defenses again and again out of both sides. And I think they came with a motif for strategy. I wonder if we're going to see that on other Junkertowns or other Horizons in the future. I'm just all about Junkertown, Jules. I want to see more of our Australian outback. It looks so wonderful.
I kind of want to too, because I want to see Crag on the Bastion. Oh, it's going to be Dorado.
Just for beautiful Mexican scenery.
Unlucky, I guess.
Foiled again, Jules. Foiled again.
I think it's just denying Craggy the time to actually play Bastion. I think that's why Gigantti are picking it. It's like, no Bastion for you. You played it in World Cup, but no.
We do know that Gigantti can play Bastion here on Dorado. We've seen it before. Nil picking that one up, and great defense from RCK. One of the most clutch defense matrices of the entire tournament. Eating a pulse bomb that came out from the enemy and really saving Nil's life and the entire push of a Bastion, because once you get dislodged with a Bastion, obviously it's very hard to get back onto the car because he's not great when he's in his recon form, just like a weak Soldier 76, incredibly hard to get around. However, we'll have to see what our teams have planned here for Dorado. Of course, this was the pick of Gigantti.
That it was, and I kind of want them to pick up the Bastion each and just have a Bastion off. It's probably not going to happen, but it would be kind of funny to see, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's less Overwatch, more turret defense.
More I mean, I would be happy to see. I'm not going to lie to you. British Hurricane going to start on the defense this time around. Team Gigantti on the offense. Yes, Holt. I knew Craggy would hold the Bastion. I just knew it. There's no way he's not going to. It's either that or May.
I'm going to have myself an Omnic Crisis if they don't come out with the Bastions today, Jaws. But it will be Team Gigantti starting out in the blue. They're going to be on the defense. And Alex Cloud is going to be picking up his trusty Winston. Not quite as effective as we've seen of his Reinhardt, which has really come to bear. We keep talking about it, but I'm going to fanboy a good Reinhardt. It's just my jam.
It would make sense to actually pick it up on the defense here if they wanted to hold the just the market, the fountain area. Although going for this kind of dive with the Mercy this time around, just to help out Nil and form that trifecta, is seemingly the play from British Hurricane on the defense this time. The things are the wrong way around, actually.
We got to have an old switcheroo.
Yeah, we've got to have an old switcheroo. British Hurricane on the offense this time, and Gigantti on the defense. That threw me as well, because I was looking, I was like,
there we go. Thank you, production. Very swift on that response.
I was like, hang on a second. Nil isn't on Hurricane.
Swifter and Cloudy blocking a shadow, my boys. But now, it's going to be LH Cloudy trying to block some stuff with his Winston shield. And then his back is going to be RCK with a trusty defense matrix. The trifecta will be Gigantti's play here up on the high ground. But Cloudy's already used his jump cooldown. He's going to have to be a little cautious for the first 3 seconds of this game.
They're actually going to do it. Craggy's going to get up on the wall. Yes. Yes, Kib. Finally, Craggy actually finds the kill on Cloudy as well. Discorded Winston is no match for the Omnic Master.
No one expects the Omnic Inquisition. Oh, I had to mess with the lineup. How disappointing. I only had one chance.
You only had one job, one opportunity. But hey, Nil's going to find Pocket, but Pocket does get res in the end. Craggy switching over, unfortunately, to the Widowmaker instead. Did acquire a little bit of charge on that tank form, but as soon as it's around that corner, like you mentioned, very hard to get back on the car.
Now Cloudy's holding very close towards this corner. He doesn't want to give Craggy any space to work with, but Master's going to be asking, get rid of the space, get rid of the sniper because he's taking me down.
RCK tried to make it work in the end. His tank was there. Craggy actually headshots him out of the mech as soon as he ejected. Only the Tracer ready to deal with now. She ran out of dashes. Should be long gone. Happy Cool claiming the kill. And that will be British Hurricane pushing it under the bridge towards the first point.
However, good play here from Team Gigantti, so we'll feed onto the point. Make sure that there was no undue progress on the cart. And now they're going to be able to set up in second point before it hits that payload. Now, Nil has swapped over from the Soldier 76. He's gone on to the Genji. He wants to get stuck in, but Kib's going to be his counterpart here already with 65% on that Dragon Blade. Ripper almost there with the Transcendence. He needs to build up quickly here.
There's Crusade instantly pressing that Q key. Kib's going to be able to take out Ripper here, but Massa gets his revenge on Craggy. In fact, he gets his revenge on Pocket as well. He finds himself a 2K. There's the self-destruct chucked up in the air. Still gaining cart time as well. Actually, that push forward a little bit there as everybody was scattering themselves to the wind. They're just going to be able to chase out the rest of Hurricane now.
Down goes Crusade, and in the back, it's Dragon Blade coming out from Kib. He's a very brave boy, and he's got big plans in store for Gigantti. He's got 2 now, and the remainder of British Hurricane will come in with a re-engagement. Who would have thunk it, Jaws? They came in with a surprise. The ninja skills coming through. Their knees weak, the arms were heavy, and he laid down arms upon Team Gigantti.
Well, now they're just going to be able to push it through. They're going to be able to claim the high ground now as well. Kib is still on that Genji. Craggy now switching onto the Tracer. So here is the classic dive. Although, in fact, Crusade just switching over to the Mercy. Was obviously on the Lucio a second ago, but switching over to the more classic dive for Hurricane Ellie.
Cloudy making an engagement there onto the car. He's got his eyes on the backline supports, and Ripper's been forced to use his Transcendence.
So very early Transcendence. Nil has his Dragon Blade available if they so choose to use it. Ripper actually gets pushed off of high ground completely in the air and actually gets taken out by fusions as soon as he, or even before he hit the ground. Kib needs to be able to take out him here. Nil has to be very careful. Actually gets his own shurikens reflected back in for the kill. Hurricane now just chasing the overextension on LH Cloudy. Craggy gets the recall, then does have the Pulsarmon available to himself as well, but that car is still in contention as they do end up just wiping the floor with the rest of Gigantti.
He's got his eyes on Master Kib. His co-DPS fell, but Craggy's ready to pick up the slack, and now he's going to be pushing that cart forward in good time. Nil ready with the counterblade, but so is Kib. It's going to be a clash of swords here. A little bit of a Jedi battle coming out between the 2 DPS here at our 4th map. Davin also has a pulse, and we're going to see both DPS ults come out from both teams, but Bokwon, or Bokken rather, has the Transcendence, the all-important ultimate here.
Nil and Kib are just facing off against each other, lightsaber duel. You aren't half wrong. Kib just going to wait out this this defensive ultimate. The lightsaber has been pulled, jumps straight to the back line. Ripper pays the price, and LH Cloud is going to fall as well. There's the double blade coming out, but guess whose blade was stronger? The Force was definitely stronger in Kib.
Kib just, that tree is a little bit thin and flimsy to save you from that, my friend. Oh well, at least he had hope. A new hope. And a lost hope.
These Star Wars puns are absolutely terrible. British Hurricane are going to move it into the factory. I can't do them anymore, Legday. I'm sorry.
I can't do it.
They're too bad. Right. Gigantti still on the defense. They're going to stick with their picks for the time. But problem is, you're looking at the ultimate economy. You have Crusade with that Valkyrie form. He's going to activate it right now. Kib finds himself on the back line. Ripper is going to be one unhappy robot. He's not careful, though. Kiting back Team Gigantti's tanks. They're able to actually move a little bit of space, but not space enough as Craggy ends his life.
Craggy is going deep now. He's got his eyes on Masani. Manages to steal away the health pack. A great micro play there from the Tracer. Now Gigantti, they're forced to move back. They're going to have to try and get together, come out as a 6 for one final attack. Jaws Davin could potentially try and clutch us out with a bomb. Ripper almost with the Transcendence as well. It's going to keep everyone nice and healthy on the cart. But potentially Fusions can lay down a shield and try and keep people from that healing.
Edge Cowdy jumps straight in. He's got the Primal Rage. Still discorded though. You've got to be careful. Bocket still has that Transcendence building. It's 80% for the time being. Kib looking for that Blade 2. Nil. They're on around the same percentages. Craggy ends up demeching RCK, and Fusions ends up finishing off the kill. That self-destruct just spreading everybody out, and Hurricane are just having to now lock down the rest of the DPS. Craggy just playing with Nil at the current time is going to force him to have a really late respawn here. They are going to re-engage onto that cart, but Massa against 5 people, is it going to have a good time?
Craggy's got his eyes on many of these targets, and now out comes the Dragon Blade. Not many targets available for KYB though.
Self-destruct from RCK wasn't quite good enough. Kib trying to run away from Davin. He ends up just going back straight to spawn. Nil ends up coming up really big, killing the Happy Cool mech and Fusions at the end of it all. Is a still hold here from Gigantti. However, British Hurricane, they're still going to come in with this, with a support ultimate available to them.
Not only a support ultimate, but 2 minutes available, Jaws. That's about 3 good pushes. If you're coming in nice and prepared, Happy Cool almost ready to combine with the Primal Rage with that self-destruct. You can combine these ultimates very effectively by controlling the movement of an enemy team with the Primal Rage and try and push them into that exploding mech, which does so much damage. And now Kib is feeling like a predator. He's got his eyes on so many squishies.
Massa's already dead, and he had sound barrier to his name as well. They're going to activate that Valkyrie to keep everybody alive. It is so close. They cannot afford to lose any more members. And H Cloudy gets sort of staggered, and RCK as well going down extremely late here. This could be all said and done. It's still got 1 minute and 35 seconds. Massa gets completely denied from the cart. That Primal Rage just came in clutch at the end there for Hurricane. They got 1 minute and 30 to work with.
Monkey wins out against Frog in this particular aspect. Hippity hoppity, stay off my property, I imagine. A couple of backhands keeping him away from the cart, and managing to secure the completion there, British Hurricane.
Yeah, 3 points in 1 minute 30. Now it's time for Gigantti to go on the offense. What are they running with here? Do they go the Protect the President, which we've seen them do before, or do they go with a more classic dive, which is working out for them in some of these engagements? It's just LH Cloudy has been lackluster on the Winston, to say the least. This Reinhardt might have been a better pick. We mentioned it before. Hold the fountain area with the Reinhardt. It can be a very deadly place when you're walking into his hammer. I
personally want to see Nil come out of a Widowmaker and have Ripper damage boost him, because the damage boosted shots of a Widow, as we've said many times in our cast duels with our lovely mathematical education, can one-shot a Tracer with a body shot. And Craggy's being such an issue here. Maybe you need to try and get rid of him with those quick shots of the Widowmaker. And if not, then at least you may be able to get some free distance here. We often see teams seeding the entire first area of that payload movement the second they see a Widowmaker. You could even just play it like as a psychological warfare. You bring out the Widowmaker, and the second that they seed all that area, you start to swap.
Well, Kib's actually sticking onto this soldier instead, so they're going to be able to hold this high ground. Bucket is on the Ana, so no mercy to actually damage boost any of those shots from the pulse rifle. Team Gigantti have, I can imagine, are going to stick with this line out as they come out the gate. The issue I see here is there is a lot of dive on Kib, but a very well-timed Ana nade can just halt it in its progress.
Yeah, if you hit the Ana nade and the Biotic Grenade is down, that's 50% extra healing. That's 60 HPS from just the Biotic Field, and that's onto all 3 of the members should be able to decide to stay in there. Got the extra 30 HPS from Crusade with the Harmony Orb, and of course 75 HPS from Ana as well with those Biotic shots. But Team Gigantti, looks like they're going to be coming out with the full dive here. Not something I'd usually expect from these guys, usually a little bit more creative, but go back to what you know, go back to the old tried and true when you're up against the wall, and they certainly are here, because British Hurricane are looking to put the nail in the coffin.
Look at them holding high ground as well. They've just got, going to be able to rain from above pretty freely. LH Cloudy taking extremely low, used his bubble already, and had to leap out to safety, doing the same thing. Craggy's going to be able to chase him up and instantly recall to the back of that top of that building as well.
And this is why I wanted to see the Widowmaker come out of nil, so they could really challenge out Kib, Bucket, and Crusade on the top, because they've got a lot of healing, but you can't heal your way through a headshot from a Widowmaker. And Nil's been pretty good at using those, as we've seen on Hollywoods before, where he gets the double pocket with the Zenyatta and the Mercy. But apparently he's just going to be sticking with the Genji. He's already got himself a play. He's been farming off of Hafiko, just keeps jumping up onto that high ground. Now he's got his eyes on them.
Goes straight in the back. The nade already came down, and he didn't actually connect. Bucket and Crusade already fall, and that's a big D-mech as well onto Hafiko. Kib and Craggy are going to be able to find a couple of kills in their own, and the cart isn't actually moving at all. It's still being contested by Hurricane as Hafiko refuses to die.
Hafiko and RCK going for a little mini Diva duel there. One Bunny Blaster versus the other, but it's going to be RCK with the support of his team will win that one out. So Hafiko is going to have to come back from spawn almost with the remake. Or rather, he has got the remake.
85% now on Kib on the tactical visor. Bucket has the nano as well too. They can nano visor if they really want to. Davin finds the stick onto Bucket, so he already goes down, and Craggy's going to fall as well. Pretty easy clean up for them. They have used, and actually the nano visor, or wasn't actually used at all. The nano itself, the visor actually being held off for the time being. Kib being rather selfish with it in a sense, but the rest of his team were actually dead beforehand. So realistically, you're going to look to save that for the next engagement.
No, was he selfish, Jaws, or did he just believe in himself? I believe in my aim. I've got this nano boost, and I've got a whole lot of damage behind me. Of course, you can do more damage. Well, scientifically, you can do more damage without the visor, because you can hit headshots with the nano boost without the visor, but you can't do that with the oh, engagement coming in.
Instant beat drop, and Kib's going to be able to disengage here. Finds himself on the low ground this time. Has that visor still available? And Crusade, you can see how far he's pushed up onto this cart. Now they're going to unlock it. He does find the mech, and actually he finds Nil as well. Nil dashes straight into all the damage. RCK comes up big with the bomb. They still have 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining on the clock. However, Kib is just trapped between a rock and a hard place, but with the help of his D.Va, he stays alive for a little bit longer, but the cart is still moving forwards.
Fusion's ready to re-engage now with a Primal Rage to his name. He can go in a little bit deeper than usual. Jaws doesn't need quite as much support because he's going to have an extra 1,000 HP to his name should he wish to pop it. However, you can get bursted out of that. You can sometimes not have the reaction speed to do it. They'll have to focus them rather hard, and I imagine given some great ult tracking on these pro teams, Master's going to know that Fusions is not going to be an ideal target. They've already forced out the Primal Rage.
Yeah, Fusions jumped in with half HP, in fact. So he's going to have to pop that rather early. Davin now playing around the bank area. They're going to be able to move in. They pushed it fairly far, but they need to be able to just push around this corner in order to get good sight lines for the Tracer. Transcendence comes out from Gigantti to start us the fight, but Craggy finds the D-suit as the pulse bomb did land on RCK's mech. Kib is actually going to clean up Nil too, so Hurricane still fighting for their lives. I'm going to quite let the capture go over to Gigantti just yet. Craggy dicing with death is going to be able to dash out away.
And Gigantti aren't going to be feeling good about that one, not just because of a loss, but because they also invested their Transcendence, which was an all-important ultimate when you're looking to ward away Kib with that blade. And now both Nil and Kib are going to be moving up towards their own blades as well. However, Kib's got a significant advantage in that Bokken can give him the nano boost should it be required.
Yeah, holding this high ground. Bokken just needs protection. Sleep Dart does end up going a little bit wide. That nade actually on the side of the bubble actually hit a couple of members of Gigantti there. So that forces them just to play a little bit more conservative for the time being. They're going to go for the full dive though. There's the nade straight on top and the blade has been unleashed, but it's on the side of Team Gigantti. Nil can't quite find anybody, and in fact, Craggy's going to take him out. A big sleep dart straight onto Davin from across the map. Ends his life as the self-destruct does connect.
They can re-engage with a Nano Blade. Kib and Bokken both ready to come in, but the tank line of British Hurricane have rejoined. They need to keep their eyes on the payload though. 4 minutes and 64 meters, or 4 meters and 0.64.
1 minute and 40 seconds left is the time you were looking for. They still have that Nano Blade. Davin has that pulse bomb, but he needs to land it on either Kib or Bokken to halt the engagement from British Hurricane.
Now, Davin, LH Cloudy, they have the ultimates available for Team Gigantti, and Master's going to be joining them soon with an available sound barrier. It'll be great for going up against Kib with that Nano Blade, because of course you won't be able to burst through like you would a Transcendence if you're going up against some overshielding, but he will be able to carve through it rather quickly.
That was a huge nade, actually forces out the Primal Rage, does end Fusion's life though. Big sleep dart as well on the Primal Rage in Winston, but he actually gets woken up. Davin executes Happy Call and his mech. Bokken still has that Nano Boost still available to him. The nade didn't connect the ground because the Defense Matrix picked it up as well. Nil's going to be able to dash through. Craggy not able to actually get their Dragon Blade off just yet. They're going to have it for this next push, but that adds another chunk of time to Gigantti's time bank.
British Hurricane, they're sitting pretty on 5 ults, but none of them were used in that last fight. All that was required from Team Gigantti to finish out that cap was for Primal Rage. LH Cloud did get slugged with a little bit of miscommunication. On the British Hurricane side, they woke up the sleeping gorilla, and they paid the price for that.
Nil's looking towards his blade soon as well. There's the Nano and the blade. Fusion's making his way to the back line as well to make sure everything's scattered. Big boot, but still a lot of damage onto RCK's mech. They're going to get the D-suit, and they should be able to get the kill as well. Ripper is trying to find a couple of kills of his own, takes out Craggy and Crusade and Bokken. What is happening in the back line? Finally goes down. Happy Cool finds the kill in the end. Nil gets chased up by Fusions too. It's all British Hurricane's fight, but that almost got turned around by Ripper solely there.
Ripper's had enough of this Harmony nonsense. It's all about the orbs of destruction right now, shutting down so many members of British Hurricane. And British Hurricane had such an investment there. 5 ultimates invested, and still they're giving up a little bit of space here to Gigantti already.
Fusions jump straight back on the car, making sure it doesn't move an inch without him knowing. They're just building up ults, but now Nil has got the blade. He's even got the beat to go in with as well to give him that extra boon of HP. Speaking of just that, the beat gets dropped in the end. Even Ripper has actually built himself up to the Transcendence after those 3 kills. The beat got dropped as well to save a Happy Call from getting D-mexed. Nil's found himself to the back line as Sleep Dart was a little bit wide there, Bokken, but the nade was good. He's 50 HP, can't get healed. Crusade can't quite finish off the kill, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. Davin cleans a Happy Call. Craggy's going to fall as well. They're pushing for the victory. 50 seconds on the clock remaining. British Hurricane, they've got one more fight left in them.
1 fight remaining. We need to regroup as a 6. Just a couple of meters stand between Team Gigantti and finishing out Dorado. Here comes Fusions. He's ready to contest, and he's got the Nano Boost.
Nano Boost moving out. Damage reduction on the Winston. Nil has actually found Kib in the back line, but he needs to pay attention to the car. He's still moving in. Almost gets the complete back door, but the Primal Rage in Winston bats him away in the end. Bokken and Kib find the kills on the supports, but the thing is, Nil has found them as well. Fusions kills Nil in the end, and Davin just unbeatable on this point, it seems. The stick does manage to land on the mech, but the self-destruct still goes out. They're still on it. 0.55 meters remaining. Kib makes sure he actually gets a blade in the end. RCK is going to go down. Davin too. He's fending everybody off. He's 100 HP from going down, but he manages to survive with the help of the healing from his supports. Overtime ticks through. Master's the only one on the cart remaining. They're trying to get back with a soldier, but it's just not going to happen. A dash away and a kill onto Nil will seal the deal. British Hurricane find the picks and find this series 4-0. No Oasis for us today, unfortunately, Legday. But what a game, the closest series you've seen all day.
Absolutely, it may have been 4-0, but the scoreline does not reflect how hard these teams battled for every single point, every single stage. Hard fought between British Hurricane and Team Gigantti.
That right at the end, this clutch blade coming out from Kier, building it up in the meantime. There was nothing really stopping him as soon as he unsheathed it. We're going to jump over to the desk. Those guys can break down that epic series even more.